I'm Astrologer Val Evans. Today, we're talking about the Today Show host, Savannah Guthrie, and the shocking abduction of her mother, Nancy. We'll be using forensic astrology and how it might provide some clues as to where Nancy Guthrie went and who ultimately is responsible. We'll see what we can find out as far as the outcome for Nancy and her family, and will we hear something soon? So I've got some chart clues, and so glad you could join me today. We're getting new updates that the blood seen on her front step to her home was Nancy's blood. So it is, I'm sure, something that is horrifying for the family and just completely unexpected. So I've got some new charts for you to look at with me. I've got some new clues too. I'm getting some Aquarius clues. So welcome. Thank you so much, Shauna, for moderating for me. And Amber's here. Welcome, Taurus Moon Tarot. Natalie's here. Welcome, Natalie. Welcome, Deb. Amber, you said, I continue to see a stalker, Page of Swords, and a bad worker. But yes, Natalie, I also see both feminine and masculine energy. I think there's probably two people or more involved with this, maybe some who are down on their luck. Natalie, you said devil came out twice, maybe someone with addiction issues now or in the past. The clues I've got for today: bells, an electric car plant, and a church. I took this picture. I was in line for Starbucks. I was in a hurry because I wanted to look at the charts for this show, but I'm aware of what's going on around me. And it looks like this is a new campaign from Starbucks, 1971. And I was reading it like, oh, it must be their year, when they started the company or whatever. I was like, let me just look up 1971 and kidnapping. And wouldn't you know, it was a movie that year. It was a Michael Caine movie. Now, remember, Savannah Guthrie, the Guthrie family, they come from Scotland. At least it's a Scottish name. And Guthrie is an Aquarius name. It represents windswept. This is what pops up on my phone. Michael Caine's Kidnapped was big in 1971. Another poster that was big that year. So maybe some clues in there for us. Now, it may seem silly, but we're already seeing some things that are coming out from the last show. And one of them is pilots. We were talking about pilots and we were seeing helicopters. Also, the electricity was out in a lot of the country on that day. We were going through a big, big storm. You can tell what's going on as far as the weather by looking at Mercury, where Mercury is and how it is affecting the world, how it's affecting people who are in at least the main characters of this crime. It's important to know the elements. Was it raining? Was it windy? Were the elements difficult? And that's going to translate into the ultimate outcome of the crime. Was it hard to pull off? Aquarius represents tech, pacemakers, generally quitting, like quitting a job. It represents freedom, rebels, and escapes. We like escapes when it comes to victims, not perpetrators. Just wanted to read you real quick the kidnapped summary. Michael Caine. Following a bloody defeat at the Battle of Culloden in 1746, a naive young man, David Balfour, is cheated of his inheritance by an avaricious uncle. So there's a lot of family stuff going on in that storyline. And interesting that it says in the 1971 film Kidnapped, Michael Caine plays Alan Breck Stewart, a swashbuckling Jacobite rebel who helps young David Balfour, Lawrence Douglas, escape slavery after being betrayed by his uncle. So anyway, we are seeing a rebel. We're seeing rebels. And I was also looking up some other kidnapping, especially in the Aquarius time frame, in the early February time. And let's see, who was it? Hearst, the Hearst girl. She was kidnapped. Patty Campbell Hearst. We were talking about camps in Leo last time. So she was also part of the liberation or the Symbionese Liberation Army. So there's those Aquarius types of themes where people from quitting their job or getting a divorce. There's something that's breaking for the perpetrator or that underlying theme of the crime, possibly when it happens in the Aquarius season. Taurus, you said at the start of the presser today, the sheriff gave condolences to a helicopter crash. Oh my God. And that's what we talked about last time, which was crashes and accidents. So Brian says, arrested just now out of California. Okay. Military firefighter pilot, too. One of your crime deck cards has a church on it, and it came out the other day. First of all, I want to hear about your dream unspoken. I had a dream about the wooden door she was standing in front of with son-in-law and her pooch who looked uncomfortable. Yeah, I mean, they dropped her off, so yeah, only today you got a nudge around the church. Well, that's Sagittarius, so. And that's so nice of you, Ninja. Thank you very much. Helps the channel so much, and really appreciate that. Okay. All right, I think I'm caught up here. Yes, you're right, drone. Brother was the F-16 pilot, retired F-16 pilot. Today, someone was arrested for false ransom, trying to get money off the situation. All right. I'm keeping an eye. Penny gave me a really, I think, a possible maybe prediction here about the weekend. So we'll have to keep our eyes. She's a professional psychic, so always interested to see some of the things that Penny says. And of course, you guys, because you guys are my resource. So many psychics in this chat. I was wondering if somebody was going to remember that. Thank you. I got the church and the bells when I covered Amy Bradley's kidnapping too. And it's funny because that wall of bells came up where she was last seen. And there have been some developments of other places that she was seen. And it was right near that wall of bells, which is, it's a tourist destination down in Curacao. Natalie, my 5 of Pentacles has a wooden door on it. The Lightseer's deck, yes, maybe that may be relevant. All right, so hey, Crafty Mom, thanks for joining us. We've got a few new people here, so glad you guys can join us. All right, so yeah, maybe a cathedral. So let's take a look at some of this. We've got the idea of what Aquarius is. This is some shocks. We're going to see pilots. We're going to see things that change. It is changing. We're going to see falls. Maybe it's funny how the universe works. It gives us literal clues sometimes. So, and then of course the nervous system. Also, we're seeing basically an interruption with Miss Guthrie's pacemaker, and that can lead to cardiac arrest. So in my opinion, her health is really what is the most dangerous here, the results of not having her medication and pacemaker. Okay, so just a quick reminder, I look at the cluster in a crime chart, which is basically the time, the last seen time, a major time that we get when we see a crime, when we hear about a crime, like a 911 call. We're going to look at the degrees. Degrees can show when somebody is particularly cruel, evil, narcissistic, out to do something very, very nefarious, usually 18. We also look at the ascendant, which represents the victim, and the descendant for the perp. Now, this is the time when they have dinner. The family, the Guthrie family, has dinner. At this time, we've got the chart at Leo, which shows family, shows games. Remember, they were talking about how there was dinner and games. So we're going to look and see where Mrs. Guthrie, Nancy, is. And she's the sun. She's in the middle here, right here. What's really interesting is we've got a little sextile to Sagittarius. Sagittarius is a clue here. We are hearing the word church already, even before anybody was discussing the case. That was the first communication that came out, that somebody from church called, which was actually helping her. Usually with the blue line, it's going to show somebody that helps you, or maybe she's talking about what she's going to do at church the next day. This is Sag. Unfortunately, we have somebody here, which is probably not the person who called to help her from church, but there is potentially something coming from the church Black Moon Lilith right there, which we always keep an eye on in these crime charts. This person looks like they're stuck. This is the nodes. When the nodes are in a square to something, it's usually that person is just, they're not doing so well in their life. And it could show that they are up to something maybe nefarious. Now, this person, whoever this is, well, we look at the blue line here, which is the trine, and we like to track the moon for a victim or a soon-to-be victim. And so it seems to me that there's a possibility there could have been some familiarity between this person and the victim, which would be not just the moon, but at this point, because they're just having dinner, it is the sun. There's a lot of nice things going for her. She's enjoying herself, but there is something that seems like it's unsettling. Now, I wonder if it could be the news. It just seems like an interruption. And what is the seventh house? Well, let's look. The seventh house is the second born. The ninth house is the third born. So if you're going to look at this as far as a family chart, Cameron, Annie, and Savannah here. And you can see most of the activity, which would make sense. This is a little table here. It shows that everything is going on right here. It might show what is about to happen, which is a complete horrible upset. But it can also show some of the themes that are happening in Annie's household, which can show things that are unexpected. Anything on that slide for Aquarius might be applying here. It looks difficult. I don't know what Annie was going through at the time. It does seem like there's some kind of a break of something. Now, it could be people out in front of her because that's her first house, the seventh house. And it sure seems like there's a lot of people who are not agreeing. So I'm going to pull some cards from BD Salerno's cards. You can see the T-square. That's really a point of trouble here. This is Annie. It's her first house. But we look at the fourth house, which is her home. 1, 2, 3, 4. It looks a little difficult. It could be that she's being forced to move. There's some themes there that are, I would think, unexpected. So just want to pull a card for Annie and what's happening there. Sometimes it can just be a change of plan. Like, oh God, we thought we were going to go, and it's a little bit like Savannah, where she was going to go to Italy and she had to change her plans. But what was Annie changing? That's what I would like to know. The temptation. So I'm getting the temptation card. 6 of Blades. So, and that was also reversed. Interesting. So we're getting swords. Basically, that's 6 of Swords. Maybe the Devil cards. It looks like rebels. It looks like people who are interrupting something. There could have been a call that was interrupting the dinner. There could be something. I wonder where she works, because it could be a lot of people quitting, and sometimes these themes happen at the same time you're hosting something. So I think Annie is a poet. She works at the University of Arizona Poetry Center. She teaches a writing class, and she has a custom jewelry business, and it's out of the Splinter Brothers and Sisters warehouse in Tucson. So I'm sure she's not liking all of this media attention. She seems like a private person, and our hearts go out to their family. It starts with temptation is the devil, somebody falling prey to their own bad situation. Night owl, yes, all kinds of inconsistencies in this case. You're right, unspoken, 18 degrees, Venus. This is an evil woman, which we got the last show on Savannah Guthrie. We know there's a woman inside this that could be a co-conspirator or knows something, and somebody potentially who could be greedy. And Star Sleuth, I think that temptation, there could be somebody really close by, and it almost makes me think, I wonder, could this represent that these people were near Annie's house? I wonder if somehow they know this family through church, which is why I say Sag. And I'll show you also another Sag I'm getting. But were these people near Annie's house that night? 7 of Pentacles looks like a no. Four of Swords. So maybe something, it looks like possibly maybe a new project that being interrupted for something. Sometimes you want to do something and it's just simply the weather that comes in and it just sort of wreaks havoc. But that's wreaking havoc. That's right in front of Annie. She's stuck or annoyed and she can't do something. Four of Pentacles. Yeah, oh, definitely. For Annie, yeah. So it does seem like it does show overlapping themes that are happening and possibly some discomfort with something that she's doing that is personal to her. A lot of people want to discuss the family. It's a real fragile topic because we don't want to cause harm, but we do keep our eyes out, and I'll show you how I do that. I looked at the pictures of Elizabeth Smart's captors. I just wonder, it makes me wonder, the male, look at that picture and you tell me what you think, how it might apply to this case. I just couldn't help. I couldn't help it. It's a pretty big deal. We're just getting ready for dinner. It could just be an electrical problem because this is all electrical. There is something that I do see, and it is the third house to the seventh, potentially Annie with Neptune and Saturn here. And there is a grand trine, Nancy. Maybe they're talking about a certain person at the church. I saw this the other day right after our first show. Savannah Guthrie's grim-faced fighter pilot brother arrives in Arizona, which we just talked about a few minutes ago, to join desperate search for missing mother Nancy as hunt enters fourth day. We're going to see that word hunt. That's Sagittarius, on the hunt. And so, of course, we were going to see that pilot in there. We didn't know, but who knew that was, she has a fighter pilot brother. And of course, that's Aquarius, which their last name represents. This is when the garage door, I believe, was closing. So that is when Nancy Guthrie is beginning something. What is she beginning? Well, she's being left off and she's starting like a new scene now, and she's entering her home. And so this is Libra. We're going to look and see where she is, and Venus is right here. We can also look at the moon for Nancy too. So those are the two places. The moon is the co-ruler of the victim. And so you could, because it's kind of like Venus at 18, well, sometimes this has to do with health issues, nervous system, anxiety, something, it's possible something that she said during maybe the dinner that she wish she hadn't said. Could be something very, very small. But Mercury here is to say. She's talking, and there is an interruption of that for some reason. So maybe she's like, she interrupts her conversation, like, okay, well, I'll just tell you about it tomorrow. And it cuts off. That's what an Aquarius energy would be doing. Anyway, the fifth house is the family. And so let's look in general to see where the family is. We've got Uranus up here at 27 degrees, and we have a kite here. This is a good sign. This is something that it just shows that there's strength there. There's strength with the family. With Nancy up here, this is a big clue, Leo. And we've got an opposition here to Pluto and Mars, which shows that this is a future. It hasn't happened yet, but it is a future shock. Now let's look and see what the third house is doing right now. At this time, as she's coming into her home, she's got this guy in the third house, which is outside of her home. And there's that Sagittarius clue again. So another church clue. And this person, again, tied up with the nodes. This could be, let's see, with a south node in the 12th, that's the 6th house from the 7th. And the 6th house is health or work. So this person might have had some kind of a problem with their job. Virgo here too. Let's look at the 6th house. When I see Virgo, I think of a worker. It might just show where this person works. But let's look at the 6th house here of workers. And with Pisces there, could be somebody who's a pool boy, pool guy, pool representative, pool cleaner. Neptune's right here, and it's opposing her. Another clue here, possibly, that maybe this person either couldn't get work or worked, maybe had some kind of job in the past that maybe Nancy knew about. Those are a couple of clues there. Some people ask me, how do you know where to look first? And I've always got my eye on Black Moon Lilith. That's sort of like the red flag. Where is this person? And in the third house, it's going to be maybe a neighbor, maybe in the neighborhood, maybe in the yard. The third house is the yard. And so let's see if we can get any more clues with this grand trine here. It does seem like there might be some kind of communication. Third house is communication with somebody at the church, or maybe somebody tried to call her. That's going to be really crucial here in this case. Who tried to call Nancy in the last 48 hours before her kidnapping? The biggest point about this opposition here with Pluto and Mars, this is the biggest concern because it does show blood. Mars is blood. It shows a sudden pool of blood here. It is a huge shock. It is a huge shock. Now, how do I get electric cars? Well, Mars represents cars, and Pluto represents many, many, many cars. And Aquarius represents electric, maybe a clue there of like an electric car lot or plant or park. Fifth house is park. So we might be looking at a park there. I thought I would pull Matt Lauer's chart because I don't have Savannah's chart, and I really don't have a good time for Matt either. But I just wanted to see what was happening for Matt this year. His birthday is December, and I just happened to see this. Mercury in Sag squaring Neptune and Saturn. For him, this is a publication, and you may notice the woman who was accused Matt Lauer of the R word has come out and written a book about her experience. This is a scandal, another scandal from the past, which is Saturn. We're seeing that a lot. We're seeing groups, Mercury, of scandals, Pisces. The reason I pulled it is because Savannah's always going to be in his chart. We can always see because she was a significant part of his life. If I pulled it like this, the sixth house would be Savannah with Neptune there. But I'm not trusting the time, so I just couldn't help but see this Mercury in Sag, which is a thief of a church or something that's Sagittarian. It's also a publication, a scandalous publication. So that's what Matt's going through. Still Sag related. You can also see Black Moon Lilith there too, somebody who really wants some money. Now we're going to fast forward, and then I'm going to get to the map. But we're going to fast forward to 145. This is when this is when the Ring camera was broken at the Guthrie house. And what we're going to do is we're going to take that time and we're going to fast forward it to next week, starting Sunday, which is the start of the week. And here we go. This is a major part of this chart. The first house is going to show the personality of this chart. And whoever this person is, I will bet you we are going to see somebody that has to do with some kind of Sagittarian clue. So we are talking about, and what are we seeing? What would be an omen? Well, we're seeing Don Lemon and having trouble with the church. So basically news media and church scandals. So that could be possibly part of this equation. So we have a square to Mercury. Anytime you have a square to Mercury, this is someone who is either eavesdropping or probably being, this person did not, it was not successful. When you have a square to South Node, this is somebody in despair. So as of next week, we are seeing a group of people in despair. They're going to have a Pisces profile. Now, sometimes Pisces has foreign elements, foreign names. They might be American, but they still might have foreign names. There are people who are in disguise, possibly. And we've got Scorpio. So this can be attempted, or this can be talk of a possible murder. And so Pluto represents murder here. But it also represents Nancy. And you can see, I keep going back to this. You can see a trine to Uranus. And, Uranus can be a pilot. It can be a drone, can be a helicopter, can be somebody kind of giving their hand to help somehow. There is a way out. Not saying that it's going to happen, but there's also nice aspects too to Saturn, which means to return. Interesting that the fourth house is the home, to return home. Could we be seeing that? Well, we've got a lot of red lines going through that. So it's kind of like we've got people stopping this happening. Will we be seeing a big development in this case by next week? I can't imagine why we wouldn't. We've got a lot of police involved, a lot of investigators. Will this case have a big development by next week? Judgment. Looks like yes. Yeah, you do think she's alive, Natalie. I do too. Land or construction. Every time you ask if she's alive, you get a yes. Yeah, we did. I did her soul return in the last show, so you'll have to check that out. TJ, welcome. Melanie, welcome. And you think house staff? Yeah, someone from church called because she didn't show for church Sunday. Yes, that is correct, Darlene. But it still, to me, makes me think that there is a church clue. Church is in there. Oh, so she missed online church. So that would be Aquarius. Wonder who made the call to family. And probably a good Samaritan, somebody who cared. But is there somebody else in there that may know something about what has happened? We're going to have to see. But with that Black Moon Lilith, we're seeing things that have to do with trains and churches and universities. So another thing, well, Annie works at a university. Is there some kind of connection with this case to a university in Arizona? It's like it's something bad in a university, church, train. I don't think we're going to see anything with the trains, but what are we seeing here with a university? Is there anything that we're going to be seeing that has to do with a college? Chariot. So maybe somebody making a transition from college, or that's change. That's change. That's an Aquarius card, in my opinion. Ample Spark. I was wondering if someone from the church that was helping out and had befriended her. I think there's a connection to the church. Yeah, it's possible. There are clues in here. And of course, we would not want people to be doxing church members, but it is a clue. Electric cars are very well monitored. Thank you, JR. Let's see. Nan, you said you were thinking about a worker she had hired to help with her home. And that's the first thing they look for, I think. Or access via garage where her car was. And that's third house too. Mm-hmm. Shauna, the BML, Black Moon Lilith is strong here. This is very nefarious. Money, money, money. Right, deadline for ransom is 5 today. So that was an hour ago, East Coast time. That's right, Darlene. Nancy's husband died when Savannah was 16. Louise says, Val, the band member apparently has a criminal record of theft. This is apparently, we can check that out maybe. Band member. Huh. That might make sense. Okay, Shauna, Savannah is a Taurus name. Oh, the tarot detective. Interesting that you said that about Annie, but I won't put that up. But yeah, I guess things are coming out about the family. But for all that we know, they are a very close family. Yes, Shelley J. Brian David Mitchell, a Gemini name, by the way. And what does he look like? And have you seen anybody else who looks like him? So it just made me think. Yeah, Darlene, I wondered what you thought about that with the video with Savannah, Cameron, and her sister. The sister had no emotion at all. But of course, that is your opinion. And this channel is entertainment purposes only. You felt, Amber, that the family message was only awkward because they were scripted by the three-letter law enforcement agency, specifically, perhaps, with any potential perp listening. That is correct. They had to read it. You think so, Kathy? Yeah. Oh, thank you, Natalie. That's so sweet. The way Savannah said daughter got my attention. Buggles, how are you? Do you see Nancy being found alive? Are they hiding a lot from the public? Will Nancy be found alive? So far I got stuck. Will Nancy be found alive? Clarifier. Okay. Well, these are sad cards. So I get 5 of Pentacles upright and 10 of Swords reversed. So these are not, we wish for better cards than that. Darlene, you said the brother gave you vibes of shock. Okay. A lot of people are analyzing right now. Yeah, the body language was strange. And I think I don't blame them, because if you imagine that a perpetrator is watching you, you're going to possibly not look like yourself. Yeah, I do too, TJ. Why didn't the son speak? I don't know. I don't think they found it necessary. They're talking about the band. Well, let's look at a band. Let's look at that. If we want to talk about a band, normally we're going to talk about Libra, and Aquarius is a rock and roll band. This is electric guitars. Let me look at Elvis's chart again, because I think it comes up in his chart, because he's the king of rock and roll, right? Saturn moon, which is R&B, and that's in Aquarius. So that's rock music. And then a sextile to Uranus. So able to play very, very fast. So much Capricorn. Well, he was, he did a lot of R&B music. He loved that music. And Mars in Libra there. A lot in the 10th house. So music. We might be talking about musicians. Do you think? That would be insane. Because I was wondering about Libra. But let me think about this for a second. Let me go back. This is as she's going into the garage. Now, you know what other crime chart started in Libra? The Idaho 4 case. And usually with Libra, it's very quiet. It's very quiet. Even though it's representative of a musician, Libra, it's just everything is stable. There's no ups and downs. The opposite is Aries. So these are the cops. These are the people who speak loudly and say, hold your hands up, and they're yelling. But so that's the other side of it. That's on the axis. But it is music. This could be music. This could be music. But let's take a look here. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Where is the perp here? Perp. Yeah, perp is Mars. So I guess we need a card. Are we going to be seeing a musician here? Yeah, JR, a church bass or guitar player. Natalie, you got the number 4, the first day, 4 miles. Are we talking about a musician? And if so, this is close to home. Oh my God. That's a yes. 4 of Wands. These are people playing. Look at the instrument. The tambourine. That's nuts. A 4. And remember, Mercury is a group. Yeah, this case is so tough. My intuition is opposite most of the theories about the daughter and son-in-law. Darling, you thought that a main character had money issues. Oh my God, JR. In the Amy Bradley case, the guitar player was the last to see her. That's right. This was an Idaho 4 as well. Libra showed the first victim. The 3rd house shows the second victim, if there are more victims. 5th house and 7th house. So you can really see what was happening there with the Idaho 4. But there is somebody here. This is a group of people here. These people are no good. Now let's look and see the moon, and then we're going to map. The moon is Nancy as well. There is Leo there. It makes me think that we're going to see some names that are like 2 first names. Oh, isn't it interesting? Speaking of names, we had so much Pisces in the Idaho case. The dog's name was Murphy. Think about what Murphy is. It's a bed. So, these names, they are going to be reflecting some of these signs here. Aquarius, these are going to be some weird people. They're going to have pink hair. I mean, not to say that pink hair is weird, but people generally in the culture are going to see this group and they're going to be like, whoa, they're offbeat. So let's say offbeat. But, it's just to be unusual, to be different, right? This is for entertainment purposes only, and we don't want to cause any harm to anyone saying or coming to conclusions that are false. A random thing I got was a cup of tea and has poison come up. Any readings anyone has seen? Is the ransom note real? I saw something about it being fake. It's a good question. I think it might be real, but who emails a ransom note? I mean, yeah, Emma, thanks. The FBI treating the note as real. All the horrible words for Pisces. There's horrible words for every sign. And we're talking about a crime chart. So we're talking about like the most negative of a person. There were multiple ransoms. Okay. I need a profile on this ransom note. What do you think we're going to get? I can't believe we got that 4 of Wands when it came to a musician. Maybe the person isn't an actual musician, but we may see some themes about musicians here because of that Libra and all of that Aquarius. That is electronic. That's electric guitars. And we still have to look at the electrical. Maybe there's somebody that has an electric car in there too, because Mars is cars. Let's get a profile on the ransom note. Is it real? Emperor reversed. Maybe it isn't. Clarifier card. The Sun reversed. Maybe a wannabe singer or guitarist. Oh, there's a song about murder. Oh God. Hey, Soda Pop. Glad you could join us. I want to look up somebody who plays the guitar really well. I guess that would be Slash, huh? It could be any rock and roller. Who would be somebody we should look up? Maybe it's Slash. That's the first person I'm thinking of. Uranus in Virgo. So Uranus is also Aquarius. And then Black Moon Lilith in Aquarius. Jimmy Page, birth chart. Yeah, Libra. We've got planets that are aspecting from Libra to Uranus. Lots of Gemini too. Lots of Gemini. Which means it can mean very fast as well. The South Node in the 3rd. You just feel like it's inherent. Member for 29 months. So glad you could always be with us. You always help us out. Fast talkers, but also fast thinkers. When you have someone who can think that fast, they can really play the guitar very, very well. Wondering, you mentioned church a lot. Could it be someone from a different church? You mentioned moon. The Islamic church has a moon as a sign. It's possible because we do have Scorpio in there, and that is Islamic. Okay, they also gave Monday a date for the ransom. Yeah, Jimi Hendrix. That's right. Let's look at Jimi Hendrix, and then we're going to look at the map, okay? So we've got Jimi Hendrix birth chart, and the only reason I'm looking this up is because there are similarities. That there is a profile here of a guitarist. There is. And it doesn't mean anything necessarily, because it could mean that the son-in-law or whoever knows the family that's maybe even helping them, maybe they play the guitar very well. So, but there are clues, and we want to see what they look like. Jimi Hendrix, the South Node, and yeah, when the South Node was in Aquarius, we got some really good guitar players, that's for sure. Because what does the South Node mean? It is feeling familiar with something, but it's also the ability to get out things like notes and sound. Yeah, so that's Jimi Hendrix's chart. Oh, thank you, Green Eyed Tomboy. You used to play the guitar. I'd love to see your chart. Yeah, we can see it as symbolic. You used to play it, the electric guitar fast. Aquarius rising. Yeah, definitely. Aquarius is the rebels. They're not always weird, but they're very rebellious, and we might see things that have to do with liberate and liberation and all of that. And this is what I got from Amy Bradley too. What is Mercury? Mercury is bells. Gemini is bells. How do I know that? You may want to know. Well, Mom is a bell ringer. She loves bells. She loves the sound of anything that has to do with a church and a bell. She is going to be signing up. When she would call us for dinner, there was a bell. So there were bells all throughout my life and hers. So she loves it. So that's what I always, in the back of my mind, I think Gemini's bells. That's how I remember it. We've got Mercury here. And with Aquarius, this is a bell that is loud. It's like a guitar. It's like a ringing bell. And it seems like that could be a clue here. We could look to see where the bells are. And there is something that's called, I think it's called Ben's bells. And there's a bunch in Tucson. So shout out to Ben and Ben's bells. So if you go up north, there's bells. Now, this might not be it. It could be another thing that has to do with bells and bell ringing. But look at, there is a road here, and it's called Skyline Drive. And that's very Aquarius. So there's Skyline Village and condominiums. It just made me think that could be a route. It could be a route, because this is where she lived, in here, in the foothills. Could they have gone out? And maybe I can pull a card. Yeah, Skyline. That's true, Natalie. We need to find the nearest Taco Bell for sure, because there could be some CCTV. Letting loose. Of course, a Ring doorbell. And that's going to show the interruption when somebody rips off the bell. So very good. Yeah. Unspoken Taurus moon, right? We just need a DoorDash delivery, right? Skyline Chili. Yeah. B.B. King was a guitar player. Okay. Hey, Angel. How far is the bell from the university? There are a bunch of, if you're talking about Ben's bells, there's a bunch. And there's one that's real close. So I see what you're getting with the university there. Because that's Sag. Ample Spark, I hopped on maps. Silver Bells Road golf course popped up. Not sure where Nancy lived, though, so might not be in the right area. You can Google her address and pop it in. Yeah, just watch Taco Bell become part of this case. Oh, Louise, that's so interesting. My daughter is Gemini. She has bells everywhere. Oh, wow. They love the bells. And especially anything small. Gemini loves little things. So chimes. So we might, that's another thing. Sometimes you just have to go into Google and you just have to Google it, like Tucson and chimes. Now that's a door chime. So chimes and Tucson. Wind chimes. Oh my God, Aquarius. Wind chimes. Oh my God, that is a huge clue. Wind is Aquarius. Mercury is chimes. Huh. So would that be something close by? I'm getting chills. Okay, let me grab the cards here. It sounds silly, but people will be back when we get some of these clues. You will see it's happened a bunch of times before. Yeah. Well, thank you, Angel. Yes, if you like this kind of content, please don't forget to hit the like button. And if you'd like to join, just hit the join button. I love wind chimes too. TJ, you think it's a clue? Yeah. I love miniature stuff, TJ. Yes. Little things. Toy, you have wind chimes all over your house. They're trinkets. Yes. Yep. And it was still recording the ring, and Mercury represents a ring. So ring is interrupted, but it can also represent a ring. Maybe somebody knows of a ring and they're involved with it. Yeah, we were just talking about that, Gibson, Amy Bradley. And remember, we were searching for bells in Curacao, and there's a wall of bells. And we found out just recently that she was walking near there. There was a sighting of her near the wall of bells. So this is a big clue, I think. Yeah, I will toy. Maybe they got her attention by ringing the door. Yeah. Jennifer says her doorbell cam was turned off, so that is very suspicious. That is very suspicious. So maybe beforehand? So it was cut. So maybe the electricity was cut to the door cam, because that would be Aquarius. I agree, Angel. Neighbors in the area all have security cameras. So, Louise, what did you just say? Yeah, I was thinking that. The Whitman Ringers Handbell Choir, not that we're saying anything about them. I mean, let me tell you, I'm sure it's a beautiful choir. But they might be, sometimes we see things that these people could be witnesses. These people might have noticed something. So it doesn't necessarily mean that anyone's pointing the fingers, but it's a beautiful choir. Nora, you said that Aunt's husband was very dark with dark songs. We don't like that. You pulled the Queen of Wands for wind chimes. All right, so yeah. Tribal. Okay. Natalie said, I forgot to ask yesterday, I had a feeling they might move her or have moved her. Does that show anywhere in the chart? Yeah, Aquarius. Aquarius, that's moving back and forth. And Mercury in there is moving a couple of times. So yes. All right, give me first of all, give me a profile or some kind of card on the wind chimes. Ace of Cups. So I think we're on to something. And what is the location where Nancy is right now? It is February 5th. Where is Nancy right now? Got the Emperor again. This is a person who's in charge. This person might have dark features. Might have a beard. It's a powerful person. It looks like, what is he holding? He's not holding a bell, is he? 4, the Emperor. So 4 people maybe. Yeah. Nellie got Ace of Pentacles for the wind chimes. Okay. So this was, where is she? So she's in the Emperor's domain, I guess. She's in some, and he looks like he's waiting. He's waiting. Another clarifier card. regarding Nancy, where she is right now. We need some kind of a terrain. For some reason, I feel like she's in a house. She's in somebody's house. Is Nancy in someone's house? Yes. 9 of Pentacles. This could be a nice house. This could be a nice house. This is somebody who kind of puts on airs, maybe. Okay. Is this house off a skyline? Could be a yes. Could be a yes. I do too, Jennifer. I think they are. I think they are. I'm sure she's uncomfortable and scared. Gibson, you think she's nearby? You've pulled 4 Pentacles. Second time you pulled it. Yeah, Junebug, I don't know. But yes, the number 2, you're saying that somebody had 2 rings on their hand. Very possible. So there's some Gemini clues there. Should have showed this. You're within 10 miles. And if you're just joining us and if you've never seen this, this show, this channel, we've got a lot of psychics in here. We've got a lot of intuitive people. We've got astrologers and extremely smart people. Aquarius. That's the nice side of Aquarius. Very bright. So I thought I'd get that in there. Is she still in Arizona? Yeah, let's ask that. Is Nancy Guthrie still in Arizona? I think so. I don't think, Melanie, that the blood was staged. It was her blood. I don't think so. She think Zebra, you feel she's by the church bells. She can hear church bells. Mercury is what you can hear. You can hear maybe music. You can hear bells. God, I can't remember what I was going to ask. I know, Natalie, we need a Discord chat. Is she, JR, is she within her neighborhood? Whoa, I got 9 of Pentacles again, but reversed. So no, but she might be with this woman. So I'm getting some kind of like dark features though from these perps. So that could be something too. Yeah, we're getting 4. So it could be within a 4-mile radius. You would think that they would want to go farther than that though. 4 of Pentacles is holding fast to what you have. Thank you, Night Owl. Does Nancy still have the same clothing she wore to her daughters? Is Nancy still in the same clothing? And wow, this came out. Good Lord. 4 of Cups reversed. And why is that an important question? Because it might show planning. It might show familiarity with the person. So, but 4 of Cups reversed. So maybe she's in different clothes. I mean, she got blood on her clothes. Yeah, she takes blood thinners. Vicky, you're right. Amber, 4 Pentacles is all about saving sand, benign, stingy, perhaps keeping things hush hush, not being very giving, selfish. Okay, yeah. Okay. All right, so let's go to, I want to go to the electric cars, and let me show you what I'm seeing here. This is an electric car clue. So here are the electric cars. Actually, that's at 9:48. Let's go to the other one. Do I have the other one? I thought I had another one. I did have a 145. We could look at the one for next week. These are Mars is a car. Pluto means many cars. Uranus is an electric car, or could be something that has to do with power. Could be sports cars, because of these are very fast cars. Is there a raceway around here? So the raceway or an electric car facility. So let's look at that. Raceway near Tucson. I don't know much about Tucson, so. Okay. Yes, there's something called the Tucson Speedway. And I'll share it in a second. Okay, where is it? Okay, so we have a all right, so there's the university, there's the foothills, and we've got a racetrack close to where she lives. So let's see where that is. It's a race park. Ah, there's the river we were talking about. Okay. So why is this important? Why do we not treat this as if it's random? Well, we see if there's anybody around there with some kind of, CCTV. All these people around here should be checking their CCTV around that time. And so there's the raceway. And that could be another route there. So was here. So we've got north of the foothills, and then we've got that racetrack there. I'm sure there's probably other racetracks, but it's possible we're going to see something that has to do with race cars, because Uranus and Aquarius is very, very fast. Mars is car. So maybe we're looking at somebody who, it's possible we'll see a photograph of someone walking and getting into their very fast car, their sports car. Yeah, racetrack by the water. If it's a figure 8 racetrack, I know, seriously. I mean, so far, everything seems to go west as far as clues, but Gemini is east. So, yeah. Oh, thanks, Shauna. You're so sweet. Susan, you think housekeeper? Amber, you're so nice. Everyone say happy birthday to Amber. Yeah, I was thinking that too. There's got to be some kind of Tesla. It's her birthday on Saturday. Brother and sister-in-law and his band. Oh, yeah. I know. I don't want to push forward that narrative. I really don't, because if that wasn't true, that would be horrible, horrible to do that to that family. But we're just looking at clues, and sometimes it doesn't necessarily mean a perpetrator. It could mean that somebody maybe who was the perpetrator knew the family, heard something from the family. Doesn't necessarily mean they're guilty. Yeah, motorbike, possibly. Let me get a profile on the getaway car. Obviously there was a getaway car. And the garage is a clue too, because cars, Gemini's cars, we're going to see twins. We're going to see 2 people. I think it might be a couple, a man and a woman at the very least. Can we get some kind of profile on the getaway car? 5 of Swords reversed. So, and I'm going to use the tarot. I'm going to use some of Barb's. I want to get a profile on the getaway car. Hey, Odelia, nice to see you. Okay, so 5 of dough reversed. So, what do you think about that? Something that has to do with the car. Maybe, here I'm talking about sports cars, and this looks like a car that may not be one. Yeah, what we could do? We could go to the crime chart and look at the car. 5 of Swords reversed could mean a car that's not very new or nice. Exactly. So maybe somebody wants, I don't know. There are other people in play. So we're going to see a little bit of both, I think. Zebra Girl, why did they impound Annie's car? Let's look. Well, they've got to look at everybody. So, Tammy, thank you for looking out for us. 3 other psychics say she's close to the water, a small water stream with rocks around there. Okay. And Unspoken, you said 5 of Swords reversed, ready to move forward after a conflict. So, Melanie, perfect. Stolen car. I think it's a van. Okay. Yeah, Aquarius card, 5 of Swords reversed could mean a car. Yeah, I already read that. Okay. All right. Don't forget to hit the like button. And also, don't forget, you can click the join button. Now, I am going to, we've got some car clues here. We're going to see a lot about a car. And here's a little bit about me. Let's get a profile. Whoa. Let's get a profile on the car. We've got a Page of Pentacles. And we have 9 of Swords reversed. So, could be maybe it's a small car. Let's see. Get rid of some of these banners. Hold on. You say definitely a van. Let's see if it's a van. You feel a van too, Gibson? A work van. There's a country club. 55 could be speed limit. Natalie, you think it's east. Okay. That would be Gemini. Now let's look at this thing here. I want to look up like an electric car facility because there are a lot of cars around this place. It's going to play, I think, into this electric, like a manufacturer facility. It could be a charging station. I think it's some place where there are a lot of electrical cars. So I'm not seeing. I think it's a clue. Let's see. Electric car manufacturer. I mean, there are a lot here we're talking about. Tucson. And I'm going to go to the news because there might be some news. Nothing new. Okay, so that's right. Lucid Motors is 1 hour from Tucson. We've got Scion Power, Tucson-based company. And yeah, so we want something pretty close in, I think. I mean, I don't know, but Scion Power is possibly a good thing we could take a look at. And why would we look at this? Well, because it might be a location where they drove by, where the victim is located. So let's put that in here. No. Precision Toyota. Yeah, I'm not really seeing anything. Let's see here. Skyline Country Club. You were talking about that, Natalie. Mm-hmm. Okay. We'll have to keep an eye out. Yeah, Junebug. Some people were saying campground. Lucy was saying that. Footprint DNA. Yep. And we were going to look at the car too. Let me see where it is. Okay, so what is the car looking like? It seems like it could be an electrical car or like an electric car. Maybe it's an old electric car. But let's look at the car. So there is a car. Mars is here. That's the car. We could also say Mercury. So could also look at the headlights. And this is a light here. It could be a flashlight. And I'm just trying to think here. Usually with, let's see, where's Jupiter? I'm not seeing van. I'm seeing a smaller car because of Mercury there. You know, the small things of Gemini. I would want to see Jupiter in there, or Jupiter really closely aspecting Jupiter as a large car. I mean, at least that's what I'm seeing from this particular chart, that there's either small chart or small car, or it looks like a female driver, because Venus is a female most of the time anyway. Mercury is a driver. It's a person who is in the car. So let me see here. Let's see. Yeah, we can look at a camper. Dodge Mercury. Hey, Eileen. Yeah, Night Owl, I'm going to agree with you there. Car brand called Mercury. Thank you, Vishnu. Gosh, we've got a lot of possibilities here. I know, Natalie, I should be writing this down. Yeah, we were just talking about John Bonet in the last Savannah Guthrie show because of the kidnapping. And people are talking about that. They're talking about Elizabeth Smart. What's Aquarius? Aquarius is smart. So we're talking about Elizabeth Smart again. We're talking about kidnappings of the past. I don't know, Sean. I think the time's passed. JR, you said there's a charge point. Visitor location is lot 1224, Maple Street. Yeah, thank you, Nora. Okay. So let's get an idea. It's Thursday now. What's going to happen next? In this case, we need to know. Knight of Cups reversed. We don't like that. We like that if it's the perp. The perp reversed. Clarify card. Two of Swords reversed. So both cards not that great. Still, maybe something is stuck. But some of you are saying the weekend. Thanks, Night Owl. Thank you, Jennifer. Yes, don't forget to hit the like button. It helps me out so much. We've met a lot of you just today. And that's because you guys are hitting the like button and getting the word out. What are you getting, Val, for Nancy being alive? Yeah, we've been on for a while, and definitely anybody is going to miss a lot because you can't possibly be online for that long, but for those who are just joining, I'm still getting positive things. Her health is the biggest risk. So thank you, Gibson. Two, yeah, exactly, Night Owl. We talk about Gemini, and two, we've got two deadlines. And what else did we see? We saw the FBI and police returning a second time to that house. So more clues that there are going to be two or more people involved. Ninja, you're worried. What is it going to take for Nancy to get out of the situation? Thank you, Soda Pop. High Priestess reversed. So this is spiritual, this is intuition, but it's reversed. It is, let me ask this. Clarify a card on what's it going to take for her to leave the situation. 9 of Swords. So, haven't been getting overly positive cards here, but I still think there's a chance. You always have to have hope. And it could be just negative right now, and things are going to change. That chart next week, oh my God. These people, these perpetrators, they are in for it. So let's look and see before I leave. And I'm going to be on again, probably in another hour. I've got another show to do. But what am I looking for? Looking for the crime chart here. Okay, no, I'm looking at the fast forward chart. This is next week's predictive chart. And someone loosening their lips and spilling the tea. High Priestess reverse. Thank you, Amber. Somebody spills the tea, which tea is represented by Mercury. The tea is upset, Aquarius. The tea gets spilled. Yeah, they're going to get caught. They are screwed. Thank you, Shauna. Eileen, you're getting that she's not with us. Louise, you said, I get alive but weak. Yeah, she's a very strong person. We did, Natalie. We got a campground. Melanie Lynn, thank you. You think she's alive. And maybe looking if Perps took her meds for her. Kirk is Scottish, meaning for church. We're getting a lot of Scottish clues. That's interesting. Thanks, Unspoken Heart Stillness. And Soda Pop, yes, we always have openings on the replay crew. And thank you to the valedictorians that make this show possible. It's weird. There are 2 deadlines according to press conference today at 5 and then another on Monday, I know. And Tommaso is a Gemini. So he's going to be definitely a main character in this, even if he doesn't want to be. She's strong inside, yes. Okay, so let's see. What am I trying to do here? I want to go back to the crime. No, I'm going to, here it is. This is next week's chart. This is the predictive chart. And we've got our show tomorrow, Amber, so I hope you can join us, everybody. We are going to be talking about the Royals and world predictions. But so, yeah, we've got a T-square. We don't like T-squares for normal people, but for perpetrators, we love T-squares, especially when there's Uranus on the descendant, which represents the perpetrator. And this is a big one. Now, what's interesting is that there is a lot here in the 3rd house, which could be in the car. So maybe a person is speeding and they get pulled over. Are we going to see somebody speeding and get pulled over, and then it kind of evolves from there next week? That's what happened with Koberger. Are we going to be seeing some type of development that has to do with maybe just a routine stop, a speeding, something that has to do with speeding. The Star. It's a female in there. So tell us more about this. Maybe there's some kind of confrontation. Will there be a confrontation on the road? Gemini, maybe it's a twin road. Maybe it's someplace that has to do with Aquarius, skyline, strength. So yes. Yeah, we're seeing maybe something that has to do with a Leo. Could be a park, could be outside of a park, could be on a peak. I don't know, but it looks pretty nasty for them. And also with Scorpio, it could be near that river. It could be near a river because Scorpio is a river. So we're going to be seeing some water themes, like I said. So you got the Star when I asked where she was. So maybe she'll be in the car. Yeah, it does. Star looks like a helicopter. All right, I am going to get some tea and hopefully have enough energy for another show, which I owe you guys. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you soon.